back in your notebooks again today. I will also add to your misery in the fact that you now have the ability to do the rest of the homework packet. Okay? So you should be working on that. That homework packet is due next week, Tuesday, which is also the day of the test. I can tell who has been keeping up on their homework and who literally has a blank homework packet. Okay? Some of you did very well on the formative yesterday. Others of you, not so much. Okay? If you haven't taken the formative from yesterday, it is in the resource center waiting for you. And just make sure you get it done before the test. Sooner, better, because then I can get it back to you beforehand. You know what I mean? Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Good job. Well, I think that was it on this one. Does she go ahead? Yeah. Just doesn't. You just don't get a lifetime pass. Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. Here we go with a good old warm up. Oh, great warm up. Love it. Let's do that. Yeah. Yeah. It's a really good warm up. And I'm going to explain something after you guys get done with it and we talk about our answers here at the end. First thing that I would do, now this is me, because I know that cosecant is 1 over sine, right? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply every term by sine of x. That gives me then 3 minus sine squared of x equals negative 2 sine of x. Agree with that? Okay. Now I want to get everything on one side. I want to get it equal to 0. I'm going to the right with everything. So I'm going to have 0 here equals positive sine squared of x minus 2 sine of x minus 3. Now that I have it equal to 0, now I can factor it. Two numbers that multiply together to be negative 3 and add to be negative 2 are negative 3 and positive 1. Then I can set those factors equal to 0. And solve that one. So then I get sine of x equals 3, and I get sine of x equals negative 1. Sine of x equals 3. Doesn't work, can't happen, got to be between negative 1 and positive 1. That one goes away. Sine of x equaling negative 1. 3 pi over 2. So 3 pi over 2 is my only answer. Now, I will scroll back up and I will say something out loud so that all can hear. If we are solving over this interval right here, here is the interval that we are solving over. Can 2 pi be an answer? No, 2 pi is not included in that interval. I don't know how many 2 pi's I got yesterday on the formative. It was in the double digits. Okay? 2 pi cannot be an answer. I'll say that again. 2 pi cannot be an answer. So on Tuesday's test, Schmeling and I and Mrs. Hill, if we see 2 pi as an answer, you will get no credit for any of that problem. It's an automatic, however many points that problem is worth. If we see it automatically, not even going to correct it. Okay? With me? All right. prove the identity here now. Okay? So we've got cosine of t minus sine of t, quantity squared, plus cosine of t plus sine of t, quantity squared, equaling 2. Okay? So this is from yesterday. This is going back to what we were doing yesterday. Sorry, it literally just popped in the old noggin that I didn't post yesterday's video yet. That is my fault. That is 100% my bad. Okay. So yesterday we said we need to take one of the sides and work it. And we said take the side that looks, scares you, makes you want to, turn around and run. Which side would that be in this case? Left side, okay? Because you can do more with that stuff. Okay? All right? So what can I do here on the left side? Break up the squares, right? Okay? So really, this is cosine of t minus sine of t times cosine of t minus sine of t. And this one is cosine of t plus sine of t, cosine of t plus sine of t. And I still have an addition sign in betwixt. Yes? Now what? Let's work blue. We'll do blue first. What does blue become then? Cosine squared of t?
Yeah. And then minus cosine t sine t.
Okay.
And then minus cosine t sine t.
So that would be minus 2 cosine of t sine of t?
And then plus sine
Squared of t? Mm-hmm. Sounded there for a second that you said square.
No.
Okay. Clearly not. Agree with that blue. Okay. Green. Somebody other than Claire? Agree? Okay. Anything? Now. What do we got? Okay.
The 2 cosine sine t can cancel out. Right?
So these two right here, this
yeah,
cancels out that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's gone. So then that leaves me with right? What do these two combine to be? This one combines to be what? 1. These two combine to be 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. And now we know we're done because we got the other side. Okay. You try that one. So if it were me and I was working the left side, I would multiply by 1 minus sine of x over 1 minus sine of x.
You didn't.
If I do that, then I've got cosine times 1 minus sine. And on the bottom, I get 1 minus sine squared of x. Yes? Okay. 1 minus sine squared can then become cosine squared. And then what? Cosine cancels out one of the cosines on the bottom. And I've got it. Okay. Could have also here, we could have another route that we could have taken. We could have multiplied by cosine over cosine on either side. We could have multiplied by 1 plus cosine, or excuse me, 1 plus sine over 1 plus sine on the right side if we work the right side. We could also multiply by cosine over cosine, right or left side. Will get us the same answers, just may take 1 or 2 more steps. Okay? Out of curiosity, both don't look very, very appealing, right? Both sides. Which side do you think looks more scary?
Right side.
I would say the right side also, yes, looks a little more scary. Yep. Okay. So I would work right side on that one. Go for it.
I didn't have any preload.
Yes? Factor out sine squared leaves you with 1 minus sine squared, then still times cosine. 1 minus sine squared is cosine squared. Sine squared times cosine is sine squared cosine cubed. Okay. Yeah, buddy. Let's do it. Left or right side? Left. Okay. If I was working the left side, I would factor the top and I would change the bottom. Okay. So if I factor the top, then that becomes 1 minus 4 cosine of x and 1 plus cosine of x. All of that is still over sine squared of x. Agree? 1 minus 4 plus 1 gives me minus 3 cosine. Yep, so that factor's there. Then I would change this to be 1 minus 4 cosine of x, 1 plus cosine of x, all over 1 minus cosine squared. 1 minus cosine squared then becomes 1 minus cosine of x, 1 plus cosine of x, then that allows me to cancel out the 1 plus cosines of x, leaving me with 1 minus 4 cosine of x all over 1 minus cosine of x, which is what is needed. Questions, comments, concerns, clarifications? Yes, sir.
In the beginning, when you factored it,
Mhm.
is it the top part? Is it just flipped?
What do you mean, just flip?
Like four cosine, or is the one? Is the one that was solved? Usually it's like that, right?
Yeah.
Is it right?
So it's just you're factoring in the same way. It's just what you would have to do is if you wanted to write it like normal.
Yeah, so you just have to put it.
If you want, yeah. Yep. One more. Let's do one more. So you're saying 1 plus that right off the start.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we get do we agree with that?
If they cancel out, does it just leave it the same as it was?
But that's why we wouldn't cancel them out next.
Okay,
That's the only thing I see.
wait, wouldn't you take, that's 1 plus 1 over 6, you put them both in, you like fix them or whatever, and then,
What do you mean fix them?
Put them in sign.
yeah, put like from sine cosine. Because the secant and the tangent end up going in 1 minus sine over cosine, and that's just 1 and you go across, like distribute across. And you leave the cotangent.
So what you're saying is you're telling me that this middle blue
Yeah,
is really
1 minus sine over cosine.
We're not sure.
Yeah. And then the one on the right ends up being 1 plus 1 over sine. And then
so that one would so then this
And then-
one would be 1 be sine plus 1 over sine.
what?
1 plus 1 over sign.
1 plus 1 over sine, yeah. Or
Right?
Can you just like,
Because you said this was 1 plus 1 over sine, right? So then this has got to be
wait, no, we didn't do that yet.
right. So then that becomes that.
Okay, well then, then you get, I got it.
Okay.
Just use rest.
Might as well do cotangent right away too, right?
Wait, yeah, I got that.
no, leave cotangent.
That's what you're trying to
Because we're
get
trying
to.
to get cotangent.
Well, but you put everything else in sines and cosines, right?
No, because if you leave cotangent, you gotta make the other two things equal cotangent.
Yeah.
Those things
So why
equal
would you change
cotangent
it?
somehow.
So why would you change it?
Because you did everything else. That's why. Honestly, that's why I would. If you're gonna do one, do them all. So now what?
Okay, so this is adding. Oh, it's multiplying now. just start, I guess, whatever. Just tell us what you're
Just
gonna
do
do
it
it.
your way.
I'm waiting on you.
Well, no.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I wouldn't have done any of that.
So do it your way. You do the left side. You do it your way.
Okay, all right. Sometimes, and this is good for everybody. Sometimes you start working on one side and it doesn't work out, and you get confused and you get frustrated. Okay, so try the other side. It's very easy to just do that. Okay, all right. So now we want to work left side. What do we want to do on the left side? What? Nope. What do we want to do on the left side?
Top square, so you can do 1 minus cosine. Oh, never mind.
You want to do that, or do you want to do what you said?
Probably what you did.
What's up?
That one.
What, we want to do this way? Is that what you did? Okay.
Well, sort of.
Sort of. Kind of.
Stopped after a bit.
Okay. All right. So then this gives me agree? Yes? Now what? Nope. I cannot make the bottom cotangent.
Put them in like the sine cosine yet, or no?
What can I do with the bottom? The bottom does not turn into 1 plus cotangent squared.
You factor out the bottom.
It does not turn into cotangent squared.
You factor out the bottom.
If I factor out the bottom, Nico, I'm just going to go right back up to there. Yeah.
Oh, what do you multiply everything by negative 1?
Nope.
You couldn't make cotangent squared.
No, it does not. The bottom, I will tell you right now for the 4th time, the bottom is not cotangent squared. But the bottom is something. It is negative cotangent squared. Because the identity number of 10 has cosecant squared is equal to 1 plus cotangent squared. So 1 minus cosecant squared then would be negative cotangent squared. Okay, now what?
How would you multiply the top by negative 1 and then cross them all?
Then I've changed the fraction then. I can only multiply by 1.
Do like negative cotangent squared over negative cotangent squared, multiply that out to get rid of the denominator. So you distribute.
This one's actually pretty easy.
Do now?
This next step. This next step is very easy. Say it.
Just cancel out.
Just cancel them out. How what? Cotangent squared divided by cotangent squared is 1, right?
Oh, there's the negative. Never mind, I didn't see
The
that.
big negative right out in front is the negative from the bottom.
That doesn't help us.
What works? Yeah. 100% works.
Doesn't always work.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they all do.
Agree with that? I distributed it in the negative 1. That's how I got it.
How do you convert that into 3 of them? Use it, multiply them all.
So, cosecant minus 1, right? What if I factor out a cotangent? Can I do that?
Probably.
Yep, that's go back.
Right? I can factor out a cotangent, right? Okay. How, Nico? How? Because it's what the other side looks like. So it's sitting right there for you. You can't work that side, but you can look at that side, right? So I know I'm going to need a cotangent out in front of my parentheses, right? So let's put one there. That literally that's how I did it. Okay? All right? So if I put a cotangent out in front here, right? In my brain, what is cotangent? Cosine over sine, right? So I've got cosine of u over sine of u. I need to multiply that by something, and that's got to give me cosecant. What is cosecant? 1 over sine, right? So what is going to fill that box so that when I multiply by cotangent, I get out cosecant? 1 over cosine, right? Right? So then this would be secant of u. Correct? Oh, they're frustrated with this one.
Are they?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Okay?
It's a good one.
Same thing again now. In my brain, I'm thinking cotangent is cosine of u, sine of u. I need to multiply that by something, and it's got to give me 1. We'll ignore the minus sign right now, because that minus sign is going to be there. What's going to fill that red box? Sine over cosine. What is sine over cosine? I'm watching a hamster spin on Bennett's hamster wheel.
I just don't understand how you got cosecant u minus 1 cotangent u